What's up, Soul Fam? How are ya? Welcome back to my channel, Spiritual Daosith. I'm Daosith LeMay. I hope you are all doing awesome out there. For anyone new, welcome to my channel. Feel free to subscribe and follow me if this video resonates with you, and check out my other social media platforms in the description box below. But if it doesn't resonate with you, just leave it. These just happen to be my truths, mine alone. They don't have to be yours. And if you haven't already done so, go check out my book, Becoming the Creator, A Practical Guide to Spirituality and Connection. This is a wonderful tool, a practical guide full of exercises to help you find more peace, joy, and connection in your life as we go through these very intense transitional times in our current now moment. All right, Marie Kondo. Let's talk about Marie Kondo for a second. This is a massive influencer in the world, and if you don't know who I'm talking about, go check it out. Marie Kondo was the guru of organizing your life. She was the queen of structure and the spark joy in your life through tidiness. All right, she recently came out saying that she's no longer keeping up with the tidiness in her house because she's just trying to survive. She's trying to survive raising 3 children. The irony in this situation from saying, I'm going to spark joy in my life or in your life by tidiness and organization to I just needed to survive right now and keep some level of mental health and emotional health of raising my 3 children. Okay? It is amazing to me how this has kind of spun around and come, almost 360 on her. It's amazing how children will get your life priorities straight. And that is why I say in my book, in chapter 3, about co-creation and the concept of the mirror, that those that you co-create with, those that are in your life that you are creating with, especially with children, are such powerful mirrors for you to understand something about yourself. It helps you see what you are creating and help you understand something about yourself. And now, hopefully, and perhaps Marie Kondo, maybe, just maybe, there was something for her to see through her children that helped her get her priorities straight, which we clearly have seen, but also see that there was more to the story to Marie Kondo and what she was putting, or why she was putting so much focus on the external, on organization, on sparking joy through controlling the outside, right? Something to think about. All right, so I bring up the Marie Kondo thing for a little bit because this brings up so many things that I think are pertinent to all of us, especially with the idea of social pressures and comparing ourselves to those who hold themselves out as gurus or whatever, right? Think about all the social pressures that we have to endure during our life. All the pressures that was placed on us, especially from the Marie Kondo thing, if you bought into it with regards to keeping your house tidy, that this is how you spark joy in your life through organization, and how the media was like, oh, you should, and the coulds and the woulds of the world were telling you what you needed to do. And if you didn't do that, right, on top of all the other things that you had going on in your life, all the other pressures and the things that we needed to get done in our life, and if you were bought into her situation, right, you bought into her experience, the emotional experience, the energetic currency that you put into your life through her own expression of sparking joy in your life and organizing, think about how much pressure that put on you. On top of all the other things that you had to deal with. Because someone portrayed something to you that you bought into. Now, I can think about the words such as shame coming up. Maybe thinking that you're a terrible person and that you aren't good and you are embarrassed by things. Or maybe even felt like a failure, right? All these social pressures. Now, it's not just with Marie Kondo. I'm just highlighting this particular case, but it's really with so many different things that are happening in our life from so many different people in so many different directions. Projections that are put on us from people that make things difficult, right? Images, roles, famous people, sports, athletes, etc. All of it. Especially famous people in the public eye, right? Instagram, TikTok, all those things, right? showing you their best life, taking this little part of who they are, exploding it out to represent their full life, and you putting this pressure on you to live up to that expectation. It is extremely difficult, and we're dealing with that all the time. And I bring this up especially with relating to spiritual guru pressure, right? The idea of putting pressure on us because of a spiritual concept or what other spiritual gurus tell us to do. All right? To be unfazed by life, to be fully engaged with life, to be aware of things, to be fully aware during your day, to be mindful, right? To have a full connection with Source, to see the beauty in all things, right? Or see the connection and see why these things are happening and all the other mumbo jumbo spiritual esoteric things that are thrown out to us in the public. Even myself, right? Even myself. Finding pressures from spiritual communities, etc. Now, this is you, and you're feeling that emotional tug, the mental and energetic tug, and you're putting on the judgments, and you are engaging with this experience, and you are putting currency, energetic currency, emotional currency, mental currency into this thing, and it's not serving you. It means that you just have to ask these things like, why is this happening? Why am I doing this, right? Why is this serving me? What am I learning about myself about this? And then maybe perhaps ask yourself this question about what other social pressure projections are you taking on that are limiting you and chaining you from being more authentic, from being more happy, from being more peaceful in your life, all right? And then just like myself, right? The ideas of gurus showing their best life, especially with regards to, say, like Marie Kondo's situation, where she was telling you how to spark joy in your life through organization, through tidiness, and how to make your life immaculate, etc., from a place where her perspective had no reality in relationship to myself or any other parent with kids. And then to put that pressure on us and to have that expanded out in many of our realities just seemed to me to be something to be important to talk about, because there are all sorts of gurus out there taking this sliver of their life and projecting it out there, like myself, projecting it out there, saying this is how things it is, or things to consider, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it may not be fully true. And we put a lot of this on us. We take on these projections, which we don't realize that illusion of what that is, which we think is the entirety of their life, is perhaps just a sliver of their life, which may or may not even be relatable to us. But yet, that's what's projected to us, and that's what it makes us feel, and we feel the shame, the guilt, the pressures, etc. Right? You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to compare yourself to people held out there and illusions that aren't really true, and especially with regards to this Marie Kondo thing of sparking joy in your life to keep your household immaculate and organized without the perspective of children and then for people like myself or other parents who have children to take on that projection places a lot of pressures and causes a lot of anxiety, causes a lot of stress, etc. So remember this, that there's going to be all sorts of people out there saying one thing. They're going to be saying a lot of things, right? They project these kind of things. But you also have to be mindful of the behavior that follows behind what they say. If the things don't match up, you got to kind of use your discernment and say, maybe this isn't quite true, or maybe this just isn't relating to me, and I don't need to take on this social pressure, etc. It's kind of like a cook who is out there telling you how to cook with all these bad things, but they themselves have unhealthy issues, and they're dealing with massive health issues, but they're telling you how to cook with all these unhealthy ingredients, right? There's a mismatch of the energy, and you got to follow what they say versus what the behaviors are, right? Now, if you're listening to me, and by all means, I don't try to hold myself out as a guru. Just understand, I'm a total mess too. I am a total mess. I'll be the first to tell you, I am a total mess as well. I sit here telling you this and that, but I'm also a work in progress too. I don't have it all figured out. I'm dealing with transitions. I'm dealing with trauma. I'm dealing with patterns in my past life that keep coming up, right? I'm trying to handle being a parent, being a good husband, being a business owner, being all these different roles that I deal with throughout my entirety of my day, right? Creating content that I hope that resonates with you and helps you. But that's why I say in the beginning of my videos, use your own discernment. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. These just happen to be my experiences from which I come from where my perspectives, where I have used to help myself, and hopefully through that helps you in your own life. It doesn't need to be exactly what you need to do, but perhaps it just gives you insight into what you're going through and perhaps gives you some helpful tips to maneuver through your things and the things you're working through, right? This is just a sliver of my life that also is involved with all aspects of my life, but I work to share it with you all, and hopefully it helps with you as you go through your life, even though it may not practically apply to your life, okay? The same goes for anyone projecting themselves out. Anybody, this is what I learned, anybody who projects out that they are perfect, they understand fully about themselves, or they hold themselves out that they're normal. This is what I've discovered. Those that project that they're the most normal and the most perfect are usually the ones that are most messed up. They're usually the ones that have the most dysfunction going on in their life. And it's those who are the most messed up, the ones who are willing to talk about it and understand and say that they're messed up and they're working through, are usually the more normal people that I have found out, right? And if they were perfect, if you were perfect and you knew all that was going on and you were this guru and you knew how to do all these things and your life was perfect, to be honest, you wouldn't exist right now in this planetary experience. You wouldn't exist right now on this planet. Your vibration would not be able to handle the low current awareness, consciousness of this planet. You wouldn't be able to be here. So anybody who's out there saying all these things and that they're projecting this perfect life is not a complete truth. So use your discernment. Make sure you filter through your energy. Listen to what they say, but also see what their behaviors are. And if they don't line up, use your discernment, right? Because honestly, at the end of the day, we are all trying to do our best. We're trying to do our best. No one can do what you do in your life for what you need to do for you and your family. No one else can go through what you are going through. Although there may be many of us who say, we can do better, we should, could, do, would, be this, act that way, say this. In the end, we are all doing the best that we can for ourselves alone. And in the eyes of Source, in the eye of all that there is, the Great Spirit, the Father, Mother, God, whatever it is that you want to call it, you are perfect because you came from perfection. And so do you, and know that you are doing your best. Do you. And if you find like you mess up, know that you're doing your best and forgive yourself. Because many of us are going through so much stuff right now. Many of us are going through the extreme mental pull and emotional challenges of our world, with our family, with our work, with our collective. We're facing so much intense conflict and internal struggle that's causing so much anxiety, anger, depression, just lots of internal conflict. That the last thing for all of us to have is for us to compare ourselves to someone who holds themselves out there better than anyone else, or that they are coming from a perspective that is a sliver, an illusion, and project and blown out to be what everyone thinks is their whole reality, that has nothing or has no practical relationship to what you and what your life is going through. So if this comes up for you, if this is where you're emotionally charged and you are trying and you are comparing yourself, I only usher and tell and suggest as you go through, and like I talk in my book, it's just to go look at why things are the way they are in your life. Try to understand the energetic implications of what you are creating. That's all I'm trying to teach here through my experience. Then when you come to understand why you created that, Forgive. Learn your lessons. Know you are doing your best. Move on. We are all doing our best, and that is good enough. All right? I hope that helps you. I love you. We'll talk to you soon.